Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Mark Timberlake, and I am back with a brand new video. And today, guys, so as you know, college football started 3 weeks back. Our conference games are done. We're moving in the Big Ten. I did Michigan football talk and Ohio State football talk. I'm going to be breaking down their games for this coming weekend, since those are probably the two most highly anticipated games out of those of you who are my subscribers. So I'm going to be breaking down those games. Start with Ohio State and Wisconsin. Now, Ohio State and Wisconsin have some similarities and some differences. They both have a good, strong run game. They're run-oriented offenses. They're both highly, incredibly strong, physical teams. They like to play with physicality, like to play with a lot of intensity. They bring a lot of that into games. Now, here's the deal. Look at Ohio State with offense and Wisconsin's offense. One major difference. Ohio State runs a better pass game than Wisconsin does. Jackson Smith-Njigba is now back, as he was last week. Played Toledo. First strong showing I've seen them put up 77. Obviously, against Arkansas State, they had a lot to fix after that week because they were in the game until halftime. That's too long. And they didn't look really good against a really good Notre Dame team. They look good against a really bad Notre Dame team. So when you look at Ohio State, they've had one really strong showing. But against Toledo, they put up 77. That's illegal in some states and or programs. Ohio State put up 77. They ran up the score, played up their third-string quarterback. He put together a drive. They did good. And again, it's Toledo. It's a MAC team. Big Ten team versus a MAC team. A little bit odds are slightly in favor of the Big Ten team. So, obviously, we've seen that Ohio State can run strong defenses, strong offensive teams against a small team like Toledo. But Arkansas State, and now Notre Dame, you can say what you want. Oh, they're not that good. Barely escaped Cal. Got beat by Marshall. True. But they were ranked high at the time they went to Columbus. They brought their A game to Columbus. But even though bringing their A game to Columbus, when you look at the after games, they weren't very good. They just weren't that good. So overall, I think that Ohio State and Wisconsin could be a shootout possibly. I still think Ohio State grabs the win. I think it could be closer than a lot of people suspect. I think they're expecting Ohio State to run away with it. I don't think Ohio State will run away with it, but I figure the game could be close. Now, but you also got to look at the defensive matchups with Ohio State and Wisconsin. Like I said, both of them play with a lot of physicality on defense as well. Here's the big deal. If Ohio State is able to shut down Wisconsin's run game, will Wisconsin be able to effectively move the ball by passing it? Probably not as well as Ohio State, which is what I think gives Ohio State the edge, unless Wisconsin can shut down Ohio State's run game or pass game. Now, overall, we've seen a couple kinks in Ohio State's armor throughout the season, but I think they're going to beat Wisconsin. I can see them winning that game, at least by a touchdown, if not more. Now let's look at Michigan and Maryland. Maryland has improved since last season offensively. Now look, both of them have good quarterbacks. Michigan has two quarterbacks to be starting between K. McNamara and J.J. McCarthy. Michigan's starting J.J. McCarthy. I believe that that's a good thing for Michigan. I think their offense can take new strides with J.J. McCarthy. Because K. McNamara, don't get me wrong, he's good. And if J.J. McCarthy's struggling, that's a great thing about K. McNamara. You got another quarterback you could throw in that could be a starter. And that's great. It's real great. But I personally think that with J.J. McCarthy, that's great because Michigan's offense can take brand new strides and take their offense to a whole new level of what they could not do before. So McCarthy being in is good for Michigan. But you got to look at Maryland. Their quarterback is pretty good too. I don't know if he's as good as J.J. McCarthy, but Tagovailoa is a good quarterback for Maryland. Now on top of that, he's got wide receivers in the wide receiver game that can back him up. So offensively, Maryland has good wide receivers. We haven't seen any kinks in Michigan's defense yet, or offense really. But the reason we haven't seen any kinks in them yet is strictly because they played Colorado State, Hawaii, and let's look at just this for fact of the matter. They haven't played any really good teams, okay? Colorado State, Hawaii, and UConn. I mean, don't get me wrong. They scored a bunch of points on them. They shut out UConn. That was a great game. But I'm a Michigan fan. I'll come out and say this. The teams they played are not great when it comes to football programs. Actually, to be honest, Colorado State's really the only team that has a good basketball program, as of right now. So, why UConn and Colorado State are not where you want to are not the teams you want to have remembering you beating. So, obviously they played good, put a bunch of points, played perfect football, as it looks from that standpoint, because they didn't play teams that could really do too much. Now, Maryland, they have a very good, well-structured pass game. They have good wide receivers. Run game, but their pass game is very good. So, we'll figure out any kinks that Michigan has in their pass defense this weekend. But overall, even though they both have a good offense, Maryland doesn't have a defense, so I think Michigan's going to be able to escape with that one, considering that I think their offense will be able to outplay their defense, and Michigan has an offense and defense, Maryland just has an offense and mostly a pass game. So if Michigan's pass defense works out, and considering that Maryland won't be able to do much to stop Michigan's offense, I think Michigan wins that game. But, like I said, you're going into Big Ten. Finally, the conference is starting. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season. Michigan, Ohio State. I can see those two teams playing with an unbeaten record at the end of the season. I mean, because Michigan now starting J.J. McCarthy, after what we've seen so far, I think that they potentially, offensively, have the potential to go 12-0. I think Ohio State, offensively, has the potential to go 12-0. Although, like I said, if you haven't watched my Michigan football talk and my Ohio State football talk, go check those videos out after this. They're going to be they're on this channel too. Ohio State and Michigan have a couple key teams that are threats. I had 3 for each. Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Michigan State, Michigan State, Ohio State, Iowa. So make sure you go check out those videos if you haven't checked out those videos yet after this video. But anyways, I do honestly think that Michigan, Ohio State will get a win this weekend. I can see Michigan win by more than Ohio State just because I think Wisconsin has a better oriented defense than Maryland does. But we'll see. I could be wrong, or I could be right. Hopefully right. I would prefer to be right, because it's just better when you are right. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already, because if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know what you're doing. You should subscribe for epic content. Rock on.